Now, what we say? Do we like this move? Do we not? Like, talk to me. Talk to me. What are we thinking, man? What are we thinking? All right, Ben J, thanks, mate. Thanks. Damn. I mean, overall, yeah, before this qualifier started, I thought it was quite crazy that they weren't looking at Merc. I feel like in this situation, you want to look at the organization and say, like, this guy came into the league in a top 4 team and played the best there. He looked unbelievable. He looks like, you know, when you look at Optic, what do they want from Skyz? And it looks like they want like the way, okay, how to say, the way he played is the way it looks like Optic wants Skyz to play in terms of that type of AR player. He looked phenomenal. He was getting time, he was getting damage, he was unbelievable at search. There was a lot there, bro. He was playing really well. He played really, really well. Let me just check breaking point real quick. For some reason it's not going through. Let me get to breaking point. Let me get breaking point up. Bro, is breaking point gone offline, bro? Are they tweaking? No, there we go. There we go. All right, we should be good. I want to see like the stats. I want to see the stats from the major. Let me see what you guys are saying. Maybe they wanted to guarantee champ spots then switch. No, honestly, I don't think this was, nah, bro, that makes no sense. Look, if they went for Merc, there was no way they were like, let's see what, okay, chat, they just won 3-0 against, against Surge, right? I think, look, I don't know, I'm just saying, in my opinion, this move was probably done before with Merc. They were speaking to him and then he had to either move or like see if he said maybe he was weighing up his options or something. But even the weighing up the options one, I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, we need to know now because we need to start preparing and scrimming, you know, and like getting ready for these. We don't have long. There's like 3 weeks left till Major 4. So I personally feel like it was one of those where he was maybe in the process of moving or something, or finalizing contracts or something, and until it was fully signed, they didn't say anything, or they had Sky. That's what I personally think. But let's go through and look at, I want to look at the major, bro. Let's look at this guy's stats. Let's look at this guy's stats. You guys want to see some gameplay of him? I saw some of you guys here want to see some gameplay. Should we get some gameplay of him? Let's get some gameplay of him. Yeah, Sif, I said talk to me again. I said talk to me even though you're replying. I know, Sif, I know. So this man is moving to Optic. Chat, I'm kind of excited, bro. I'm kind of excited. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see what the chat's thinking. I'm telling you, look at his stats. Won't show you how good Mercules can be. He's not going to have 1.4s every other series. Mercules similar to Dan Ghosty coming in the league during Modern Foods. Better than Ghosty was when he came into the league. I mean, Skyz got dropped from LG. Why is Optic picking up in the first place? No, this do a map he fried on off. I'm pretty sure he did good in this, bro. I'm pretty sure he did good in this. Move the chat overlay. Oh, okay. My bad. We move the overlay.
Kills around the time. So right now, Ultra getting outslayed, and yet they're gonna end up having the lead. The Ultra special. Yeah, big 3.
I kind of want to keep it on for YouTube, so I'm gonna kind of leave it like that. I know it's still in the way a little bit, but I want YouTube to see it after. So I'm gonna kind of leave it like that for now. I apologize if it's in the way. All right, let me go up. He was even. No, it's okay. I don't really care about the stats about this guy, bro. It's just the way he played was good, bro. Even in this map, this was a standard map, though. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to go to his best map to see how he played. I want to see what you guys are saying, so let's see your opinions. Okay, let me go through. All right, so let's start off with what we're seeing. Okay, so this is the first thing I'm seeing, okay? So Buck said, did Optic pick up Merc? And Lucky said, no way, they just slammed Vancouver. I think that, in my opinion, is kind of like, it's a little bit short-sighted, bro. It's a little bit short-sighted to look at that and say like, oh, but they just beat Vancouver. Like, bro, like, we're looking at potentially years, bro, potentially a decade in terms of like, when you pick up an asset like a top player, bro, we don't know how long this guy's going to be in the team for example, right? So, you know, like, if we're looking at Merc for that guy to be the next guy, it's kind of exciting for me. It's kind of exciting for me because one thing I noticed in the comms, chat. Okay? And I want you guys to give me your thoughts, chat. Who listened to the listening? Who listened to the listening in the recent performance against Surge? In that listening, what you will notice and see is that Shotzi and overall the comms in general was a lot more vocal, a lot more small talk. And I love Shotzi's comms. I've been very critical of him in the past. I've said this to Sifu as well. Shotzi's comms have always been something that annoys me in terms of when he goes into flow state and isn't comming and stuff. I think you need that small talk. You guys see it all the time, even in the sub challenges. I'm always saying, yo, we need small talk, we need small talk, we need small talk. I always need that. And I think what I saw was like, damn, this guy's comming well, bro. And they was just not just about communication in terms of like, oh, where people are. It's another layer of comms about like where people are going, this and that, this and that. And I feel like if he can up his game, but more importantly, dash you, bro, because your sub, in my opinion, can't be the main main shot caller leader for the team in terms of the vocal aspect, just because of the way the game is played. There is no sub that does that. Every team, when you look at the most vocal and the leader, is always going to be the AR player in terms of the comms. LAT's at Octane, look at even FaZe, bro, Draza, like you're gonna have Simp being a leader as well, but it's not going to be like your most, like Hydra's not going to be the leader in terms of comms. I disagree. SMG set the tone a lot in this game. That's completely different. That's completely not what I'm saying. Setting the tone in the game is completely different to comms. Completely different. Completely different. It's not even the same thing. Your subs in terms of Hydra is hella vocal. I'm not saying that they can't be vocal. Of course you're going to be vocal, but it's different. It's different. When you're a sub player, you're more vocal in terms of what you're doing in your play. If you listen to Hydra, Hydra is coming what he's doing, what he's playing. Ghosty is the player that is reacting to Hydra. Ghosty is more of that vocal leader, in my opinion, in terms of the team dynamic. No, the game is more dynamic than what you're saying. Okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. But I'm saying I don't think that Shotzi is. Your subs aren't your leaders in the game. AR does not be the vocal leader. Okay, that's fine. But in every team, it's always been like that. It is. When you play as well, the ARs always are going to have more information. The ARs are always going to have more information of where people are, what they're watching and stuff like that. The subs, I'm pretty sure. No, bro. You guys are saying like I'm saying that subs aren't allowed to talk. I'm not saying that. I'm saying your ARs are going to be able to set up over your subs. Your subs, most of the time, what they're going to comm is what they're going to do, and your ARs are working around them. But there's a different area of leadership. Bro, Kenny was the same way, Skyz, Ghosty, most of the time it's your AR player doing that, bro. Most of the time it's your AR player doing that. Now, subs, what they should do, and the best subs are doing that, they're vocal in what they're doing and they're picking up. Now, the reason why is because their plays are the most impactful in both areas. If they're, for example, let's say Shotzi pushes somewhere and... No, I don't think it's about me being right or them being right. I completely agree with what Sifu's saying as well. I'm cryptic. Like, sub players, yeah, AR players are calling out people and staying on the rotation, where sub players are doing what they need to do. I think sub players need to be vocal to make sure the AR's on their right page. Like, for example, you need your sub player to go forward. You need your AR to block a certain area in the map or watch a certain area. So your subs need to be vocal, but they need to be vocal in what they want, right? But I think where it comes different in terms of the leadership is more the AR players are going to be kind of playing around that, setting up in positions and stuff, and they're going to have a wider range on the map. Subs, well, let me see what that says on the other screen. Let me get the other screen out. Subs should call out their plays, but AR should call out what is going on. Yeah, for me, this take it to binary. Dashy doesn't need to improve his comms because he's AR. It's because his comms will be generally poor. I think both can be true. I think Dashy's comms, the reason what my point is, when you lose Kenny, for example, right, or Skyz, all these leadership type of players, right, and I do agree as well, where I don't like the word leader when it's being used like, oh, you need a leader in your team. It doesn't matter what he's shooting, we need a leader. I think the way COD is now, like, everyone should be able to do everything, but my point is just generally playing this game is when you have a submachine gun player, most of the time they're going to be taking care of a small area of the map. It's going to be very difficult for them to have an overview of everything, and when you're a sub player pushed out, it's very, very hard. I don't think Skyz comms are anything special. I mean, all right, Skyz automatically when he joined, you could his bro. No, I mean, I disagree with that. I disagree. But I think AR's comms are way, bro. I think most of the time your leader, your person calling the overall, like, in terms of the structure and shit like that, your AR's always going to be more responsible for that. Your subs are going to be more responsible for cutting lanes, being annoying, being impactful, pushing out, and they need to make sure that what they're doing what they're doing isn't affecting them in a negative way. Now with Dashi, I'm saying if you're losing Skyz and Kenny, you're losing that leadership in terms of like when the game's going downhill, when the comms are frantic, whatever it may be, whatever small areas, right? You know, Skyz was talking, his mic was, I think it was bugged or something. Yeah, we couldn't hear his comms in the thing, but yeah, no, I saw that was because his mic was moving, he was talking, but nothing was happening. But anyways, let me go back to my point about this, right? With Skyz, for example, let's just say whether you agree or not, right? There's obviously an element there of leadership, okay? Okay, that's fine. You can have your opinion. I just want to say my point first. That's fine. You can have. That's fine, Sifu. In terms of Skyz and Kenny, let's just say you're losing leadership, right? Whether you like that or don't, whatever, that's fine, right? Let's say you're losing leadership there. For me personally, when you're bringing in a young, talented player like Mercules, I would personally, as an Optic fan, what I would like to do, I would love if Dashi could take on that responsibility and become that leader, set the tempo of the game, be able to change, etc. Right now, in Search and Destroy, calling strats of plays, where to do, what to do, anyone can do that because that is a strategy call. That is okay, yo, if I'm shot to yo, I'm gonna go bottom hacienda, yo, Dash, yo, when you go top left window, Mercules, go top right window for me, and me and Hook are gonna go down bottom middle. We're gonna take over their, we're talking hacienda, right? We're gonna take over their bottom wine, and then Hook's gonna go up the stairs. That play call at the start, if that's one of their strats, that's fine. But when the game's going hectic, the ARs always have more information. They always have more information. But anyways, yeah, back to the point. I think if you're gonna get rid of your quote-unquote leader type style of players, which they obviously have with Kenny and with Skyz, I would love Dashi to take on more of that responsibility. Okay, I'll put it this way, Sifu. If I had a magic potion that could make one of the players on the team have a communication of, say, let's just say Octane, right? Because I think Octane's a good example of that, right? I personally, playing this game, I would always prefer my assault rifle player to be that individual. Now, for example, when I'm playing as well, and I'm playing as a sub, I can call out multiple things where some people might not be able to. So no matter the role, some players are going to be more vocal, right? But I'm saying I always think it's better if the AR could do that because they have a wider range of the map and there's so much more that they have information for. With the sub, they're going to take care of a small area and lock down that area, and they're going to be responsible for certain things. So I just think that Dashi should get to that leadership level if you're going to have Mercules as your rookie as your AR partner. But overall with this move, okay, this is an example. Bro, this guy right now, he is cooking in terms of kills. He's got 2 minutes in the hill. This is what I thought he did well with this map. I thought so, yeah. This is what I wanted to see from him. So let's just say this hard point is something we can go off. Wow. This guy is going to be very, very exciting to watch. He's going to do a lot of, like, you know, when you're looking at Optic right now, if you guys watch the Seattle game as well, I want to go back to the Modern Warfare 3 dynamic of this team, because with this team, the dynamic was just the dynamic in general. And again, things always change, but the dynamic generally was Dashi was your hill kitten, right? They had like one AR as a hill kitten, which was Dashi. He had the most hill time, I think, in the league last year, something like that. He was crazy as a hill kitten. And then you had like Pred and Shotzi kind of cut lanes. Both of them constantly put pressure up, right? And if you actually look at the dynamic of like Modern Warfare 2, if you guys watched back then, the year before, what you saw was Kismet. Kismet was the kill hitting, right? Kismet was the kill hitting, and Hydra would push out, and they had like Skyz doing a bit more like kind of with map control, and same as Priester, but Kismet was their hill kitten, right? So there's different dynamics of the team. You have different areas. But one thing that people see as well, when you have like the quote unquote kill hitting, by the way, when I say kill hitting, right, it means the player that's naturally gonna get the most time. Let's say Dashi just spawns up and Shotzi's in the hill. Yes, Shotzi's gonna take time, right? But there's gonna be certain areas where someone's gonna get more of that time, and naturally, let's say the play kill hitting. Oh, am I tweaking, bro? Sifu's, yo, I need to, like, when I see Sifu's name, I just tweak sometimes. What? You just stopped me in my flow state. Anyways, let me go back to the point there, okay? Do you think Toronto... Okay, I'm going to go through this in a second as well with what you said about the beans. Okay, so back to that point, right? I think if Optic want to play a way where naturally... Why are you saying kill hitting? I said hill kitten. Sifu, you should just shut your mouth and sit there, you little keyboard warrior, right, Sifu? You little keyboard warrior, mate. Bro, look at this guy. 2 minutes and 5 in the hill. Basically the same damage as most of the other people on the team. Man dropped 20 and 23 with 15 assists. and he had 2 minutes in the hill. That is crazy, bro. And what I was trying to say is, like, with this move, you're gonna have more freedom for Dashi to be able to kind of play his game, and you're not gonna have to rely on somebody just fucking getting 2 minutes of time without slaying back. I hate when there's one person on the team that gets a lot of time but has no interactions. I feel like you're putting so much pressure on the rest of your team, and that is something I saw with Skyz. With Skyz, the overall move, I didn't mind it, but I wanted him to become a faster player, and there was times we saw that, like, look, against Seattle they played really well, but overall, like, his pacing isn't where it needs to be. And I think with Mercules, from what we've seen, is he has the pacing. Now that's in the respawn, so I think he's got the pacing. He can clearly slay. He was like a top 10 player at the event. He was unbelievable, right? So he has the pacing, he has everything like that, and in search and destroy he was unbelievable as well. So I just think overall they got a really talented player that can just do a little bit of everything, if this is the move that they go with. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but it looks like that's the move that we're going with. So yeah, overall I think it's great. I think it's great. What you lose with Skyz, like I mentioned, I think one thing you'll lose with Skyz, right, if you're having a team attribute, you could maybe say communication, leadership, just making sure that, you know, plays a small talk, everything's going that way. And I think the other players now have to step up. If you're Shotzi and Dashi, both of them, you know, you guys have had a handful of teammates now. You guys have not won enough, considering how talented they are and how high people put them on a pedestal. They have not won enough since joining as a duo, right? Whether you guys agree or not, that's my take. I think they have not won enough, and I'm an Optic fan. I think, like, when you look at Hydra and not even Scrap, let's talk about Hydra, bro. Hydra and then the FaZe boys, like, how much they have won since forming compared to, like, I think Scrap has one event win less than Dashi, and I'm not saying Dashi's been the problem for sure. I'm just saying, like, I think you need more. So right now, if you're gonna stack talent and get these players in, I think now you need to step up and become that leader, because they've always had that. They've always had somebody on their team that was a quote unquote leader, had those comms. They always had it. They had, you know, they had, what's his name, Black Ops 4, Dashi had Karma, and then both of them had Crim. You know what I'm saying? They always had that. Even Illy was that type of player as well in Vanguard. Whenever you listen to the listener or listen to them talk about them, Illy was that shot caller. Illy was kind of that vocal leader. They've always had that. Then they had Kenny, exactly the same thing. So now you're losing that. You're losing all that vocal leader, that guy that's going to dominate the comms, make sure the small talk's flowing. You're losing that, right? You need to replace that, and you need to put in your effort. You need to make sure that that's something that you're working towards. But overall, I think it's a great move. Nothing's been confirmed yet. But I'm super excited to see what's going on with this one. And yeah, I'm just super excited. Let me go through. Let me refresh the Twitter. I don't want to say the Twitter like a weirdo. Let me refresh Twitter and see what's going on here. If there's been any development in the tweets here. Let me see. I mean, nothing's been confirmed, but it's the same thing. People are just saying that Mercules is going to sign for them, essentially. That's just the rumor. But I kind of like this point about the Ghosty thing as well. For me, in Modern Warfare 2, when Ghosty joined, it was like he actually was so underrated that year when he joined. People forget that team went to 2 back-to-back finals. Unc called it Twitter. That's crazy. All right. That was a proper Unc moment. But yeah, people forget that Ghosty, bro, they went to 2 back-to-back grand finals, and online qualifiers, they both went 6-0. They were flawless, bro. They were flawless. So that team looked unbelievable, and Ghosty was just, yeah, he was a great player there. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Hopefully, this team does form. And you never know, man, they might be able to make a run in Major 4. Maybe that's why, you know, the first week, maybe there was some kind of like confidence booster. They knew it was kind of like a fresh start. The behind the scenes, they knew what was going on here with the whole Mercules signing. I don't know, man, loads of what ifs. I'm a bit surprised by the timings of it. I thought if this was going to happen, it would have been earlier, like last week. So I'm very surprised by the timing. I'm sure if Mercules does get signed, there'll be like a podcast or something that released with the team, and they'll probably give a little bit more. That's what they normally do, a little bit more behind the scenes of what's kind of going on here. But it's been a really weird year as an Optic fan. You know, going into this year, I thought this team, you know, me and Sif had conversations. Could this, you know, be a team that could potentially be a dynasty one day, with, you know, with Pred and Kenny, and, you know, they just won champ. So a bit weird now going to the end of the year having only Dashi and Shotzi, the original duo from Vanguard, being the last two again, kind of being a roller coaster. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here. So hopefully with Mercules, it's kind of like a fresh start. We have a young, talented individual that can just kind of carry on his momentum, his form. And something I saw as well, I saw so many people tweak when Mercules didn't get signed to a roster. Oh, challenges chalked, what are we gonna do? Like, look at him top down. I'm like, bro, like, I think it was a bit of an exaggeration. It wasn't like nobody wanted to pick him up. I think it was just in that situation, it was a very weird one. I kind of like what Ake said. I think it's not about the teams, like if he gets signed or not. I think it was actually about why teams aren't going for him. There were certain teams that maybe weren't going for him, and it's a clear upgrade. I think that made more of a concern, but I don't think it was like he wasn't getting an opportunity. I'm pretty sure C9 wanted him, from what people said. That could have been an okay move, you know. Like I'm sure he had options, and I think we're just understanding what he wants to do as in his situation, because the worst thing to do in that scenario is go to a team that's chalked and have a bad end of the year and lower your stock going into next year. When your stock is that high, just, you know, you have all the luxury there. So yeah, I think overall I'm happy with the move if it takes place. That was 100% Mercs. Exactly, I completely agree. That was no way. It wasn't like, oh, this guy's got lucky, he's not. No, I think it was just his decision. I do think that more teams should have been in for him. I think Boston's an example. I think Boston should have pack a punched. I think they should have got rid of Awakening or Cammy and really gone for him and just kind of keep going and keep upgrading that roster, because they got talent there in Boston. I feel like they could have done better there. I feel like a lot of teams could have benefited from him as well. The Ravens one is a bit weird of a scenario, because they did just go for Dinner Rex's. They did just go for their new site. I forgot his name, I'm tweaking. But I do think it was a weird scenario for them. I don't know if there's many other teams, to be honest with you, bro, that could have really went for him. So I think Optic was probably the big question mark that people had. And we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, chat. We don't know. We could always guess, we could see speculations, but in situations like this, there's always so many variables. Like, you're not just playing, oh, should we play rank play with a sub? Like, they're going for a player where they have to sign a contract. It could be a 2-year contract. They have to move locations. Like, there's loads of small variables. There could be a situation with the current contract as well, whoever their fourth player is. So there's always a few details that it's hard as a fan to kind of really wrap your head around. And we can always get caught up in the move, like, oh, we should do this, and like, you know. And people say Friendship League as well. I really hate this take, because if you know someone and he is your friend and you know what they can do, and there's an unknown variable, you're probably going to go with your friend, because you know how they come, you know where they are in practice in terms of like how they show up, how hard they try and practice, you know all the small details. So I think that's kind of like faded when people say, oh, Friendship League, to an extent. So yeah, I think that's my take on it. I'm happy overall that he is going to be signed to Optic. I think it's a great move. I was hoping this move takes place before this major last week. Didn't quite happen, so I'm happy that at least now we have you know, potentially Optic Mercules. I think it's going to be crazy. And look, it goes to show as well, when you have an opportunity, if you take it, things like this could happen. You know, if Beans didn't get, this is another problem with the league. If Beans didn't have visa issues, this guy wouldn't have been showcased. That's kind of fucked up, that there's so little opportunity to showcase your talent online against the pros, that we would have never had this situation right now where he would have been the player getting signed in this scenario. And it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying, because this guy would have been not competing at the event and ended up being like the 5th best AR there. It's just a bit annoying, because, you know, I can see the frustration for some people when they say like not the best talents in the league and stuff like that, but I think it's more the fact that like there's not enough spaces and challenger players aren't able to showcase their talent. Because, bro, and this is Envoy's take was so fucking stupid when he said challengers don't have talent. It was the most faded, arrogant take I've ever seen, bro, because Scrappy came from challengers, Ghosty came from challengers. I don't know where Hydra came from, a sniping montage, but bro, these man came from challengers. Joe Deceives came from challengers. Like, are we faded? Beans came from challengers. Challengers is literally at the rookie scene. Like, it's just so naive to say there's no talent in challengers when challengers is the fucking level below pros. That's just stupid. I hate it. And when pros say like, oh, why are we expanding? You know, the bottom team's already shit. That's because of the way teams are designed. That's all, bro. Like, there's talent on the bottom of the league that if teams were designed in a smarter way would be playing better. Like, it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy. There's like a yo-yo at the bottom of the league. And yeah, even if a team at the bottom of the league doesn't compete with the third or second best team, it doesn't mean they're a terrible team. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to that. We can get into it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know down below what you guys are thinking about this Mercules move. If it does go ahead, are you guys happy with it? As an Optic fan, are you guys sad about it? You guys excited? As a rival fan, what are your thoughts? Are you guys kind of worried now? Or is it just, you know, nothing's going to change? You think Optic are still going to be awful? What's your thoughts? Let me know down below. Catch you guys for all tomorrow. Peace.